No, no. Well, they make a cream for it now. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if I gotta go. Right! Not awkward. February is here, and the time is right for dancing in the streets. This month's motion picture is our first feature. It's weird. I did not plan this, but I've kind of been having we're having reoccurring people that we've encountered before so far this year. It was not intentional. Like there's been a weird connection thing. Last month we watched Billy Wilder's The Apartment, and this month we're watching the film with Barbara Stanwyck in it, who was in Double Indemnity, a Billy Wilder film that we watched last summer. Our movie is Preston Sturges' 1941 motion picture, The Lady Eve. The Lady Eve is one of a handful of films that holds a 100% on the Rotten Tomatoes website, and I chose it because I've been really wanting us to watch a Preston Sturges film because I really like Preston Sturges. Preston Sturges, his primary era of success was the 1940s, and he was one of the first really known writer-directors to come out of Hollywood. To the point that his films, once he sort of became established as a hit maker, his films were billed as it's a Preston Sturges film. And the only other people from that, I mean, Hitchcock films were sort of billed as Hitchcock films, and Capra films would have been billed as a Capra film. But in terms of a writer director, he was really one of the first ones that the public knew of, in terms of not just as a name up on the screen. And his films all sort of have there's a Preston Sturges style and a Preston Sturges feel to his films. A certain amount of wit and a certain amount of just incredibly sharp dialogue, great, fantastic wall-to-wall writing. The same actors appearing in his films. There was something of a Preston Sturges repertory at Paramount, where he made the majority of his films. And the Lady Eve was, I don't want to say it was his first major smash, but it was a huge hit at the box office, and it's just a really delightful romantic comedy. It's got Barbara Stanwyck and Henry Fonda. Who else is? Eric Blore is in this. Now, you probably have no idea who Eric Blore is, but Eric Blore is one of those great old English character actors who you see him. He's probably best known for he's in, I think, two or three of the Fred Astaire Ginger Rogers films. He's in Top Hat because he plays the valet in that. And I think he's in Swing Time too. Either Swing Time or Shall We Dance. Maybe he's in both, but I know he's in two at least. Just one of those guys that he always kind of played the same type of a character in every film, but that wasn't a bad thing, He was always sort of that, sort of refined, he was sort of the Terry Thomas of the 1940s. If you don't know who Terry Thomas is, Google, I'm not going to tell you, but you'll recognize the face the second you type Terry Thomas into the Google box, as the young people like to say, because we are sophisticated young people. Mm-hmm. So anyway, yeah, we're watching The Lady Eve. It's our motion picture for February. It's a Preston Sturges film. Our first Preston Sturges film, and I think the only Preston Sturges film on Netflix right now. How many more times can you mention Preston Sturges in this video, folks? I don't know. Stay tuned to find out, actually. There's nothing left to talk about. This is the end. How about that football game? No, let's not talk about that football game. Because, I don't even like football, and that thing was terrible. I watched Sherlock instead. Yeah. Anyway, Lady Eve, watch it. We'll start discussing it the last week of the month. And I don't know what the discussion thing means other than just I enjoyed this. I mean, I'm not trying for there to be some sort of great in-depth, well, clearly the symbolism of this shot means no. I'm not doing that. I mean, you can do that if you want, but I'm just having fun, and we're just watching films that I think you should see, because someone criticized me that I'm not doing more contemporary films. I looked at some newer stuff that I almost picked one for us, but that's kind of not the point of this. I'm picking older films because that's where my passion lies, and there's a lot of films that people aren't seeing and that they should be seeing. I just want to share those. Why people have to make a federal case of it, I don't know. Not anyone in the group, it's just other people have been hinting, well, why don't you show more contemporary motion pictures? And it's like, well, go to the Contemporary Film Club. This is a club that celebrates all of filmdom. And Yes, I am picking certain films because there's a strange science to the films that I'm picking. Because one thing I learned last year is watch the movies first, because that's how They Might Be Giants was a horrible debacle for us. Because boy, that movie just disappointment. But there is a sound science to what I'm doing. I feel like I'm still staring more at the picture of myself on my screen instead of at the little camera right up there. I don't care. Anyway, I should have wrapped that up a long time ago. We are watching The Lady Eve. I hope you like it. It's Preston Sturges. I really like Preston Sturges. If The Palm Beach Story, which is my favorite Preston Sturges film ever here, hits Netflix, we're going to watch that because that is a fantastic movie. Not that this isn't. Most of his films are excellent. And I hope you will enjoy this. We'll talk about it. And all right. So, Lady Eve, Preston Sturges. Someone count how many times I've said Preston Sturges. I'm like there's somebody here. All right. See ya.